Hello everyone, so we're finally back to the original schedule and I'm kind of depressed about it, to be honest. I very much enjoyed Vlogtober. That was my first year ever doing Vlogtober and I really enjoyed it. I mean, it was kind of stressful at times with the haunt and everything that was going on, but I really enjoyed it. So I don't know, I may do it again next year, but until then we're just gonna stick with our scary videos once a week. So yeah, decided to film outside today because it was a nice fall day and I just really wanted to make as many videos out here as I can before winter sets in and it gets too cold. Tonight's video is going to be about my cat who passed away, and it's going to be a little bit about the first cat that I've been making my ghost cat videos on, but it's also going to be about another cat that I had who just passed away in October. Now, before I get into everything that's happened, I'm going to tell you guys what happened with him. I would never in a million years make up anything that I mention or tell you guys that I have seen or experienced that has to do with the paranormal. I've always been told that I'm spiritually gifted. I've said that so many times in my videos. I mean, you can take it how you want, you can believe me or you can't, but I'm telling the truth and I wouldn't lie about it. And I like to say that in every video just because I kind of experience paranormal stuff every single day, but I feel like the more that you talk about it, like the less people are going to believe you. I just wanted to throw that out there. I just like sharing my experiences with you guys, and I don't know, I like having this stuff to kind of look back on if I ever want to. A couple of weeks ago, we noticed that he was breathing very strangely. We thought maybe we should take him to the vet and get him checked out. Now, a few weeks before this, I just had this feeling come over me, like, don't take him for granted. Show him how much you love him. And I didn't know, like, for sure what that was trying to say. I thought maybe it was just a feeling from God or something that I needed to show my cats how much I cared about them. So we ended up taking him to the vet. I think it was like a day before my niece's birthday, which is October 18th. They came back home and they confirmed that he had cancer all in his lungs, and that's the reason why he was breathing that way. So we took him back home and we let him stay with us for like a day and overnight, and then the next day we took him to get him put to sleep. And so right before that, I told him, I said, come see me like Booger has, because as you guys know from my ghost cat videos, I've seen my cat Booger, who passed away this year, multiple times. I stayed home while they went to take him to get him put down. And I think it was like around, I want to say 11:36-ish in the morning. I had my door open in my room. My cat, Booger, I seen her face, like of her walking in my room. Then directly behind her, right in the hallway next to my door, I seen Tigger standing there on the rug. And like right when I looked at it, I was like, oh, you came and see me just like I asked. And I smiled. The night before they took him to get him put down, I had seen like this like smoky mist like right above him next to our couch. My mom had a candle going, but it was not the candle because the candle was over on the coffee table and the couch is in a completely different area than the coffee table. So this was like right behind the couch. It didn't look normal, like normal smoke. It was like a misty smoke, and it just disappeared as soon as I looked at it. I believe my dad told me that night as well, he seen like this white light like shoot across our ceiling and go into the wall. We kind of believed that that mist and that light were maybe our cats, Midnight and Booger, coming to get Tigger, but it just wasn't his time right then. So that's what we believed that was. Then, after my parents had came home, they had dropped him off at the crematory to get him cremated. My dad had told me that he heard the song See You Again by Carrie Underwood come on the radio, and he said that this was as they were driving Tigger to the funeral home to get him cremated. So I believe that that was a sign from God or from Tigger that, you know, he's not going anywhere. He's still going to be here in spirit. The following day after we got him cremated, I believe, I was sitting in our living room floor, and my mom has one of those digital picture frames that, it runs off an SD card and it will change pictures on its own. So we have pictures of our cats and stuff on there. And I looked up and I was like, who Poopy? Because that's what I called Booger. And as soon as I said that, like out of the corner of my eye, on the floor right next to me, I thought that I seen Booger sitting there right beside of me. And whenever I looked, she disappeared. Then I believe on that same day, we went out shopping and we were waiting for, his ashes to get done so we could go pick them up. And I was giving our other cats treats because my cats love cat treats. So I shake the bag and then they all come running to me. And Tigger loved those treats, just like Booger did. I looked over and I seen him standing on the rug. I seen him when I shook the bag of treats, and when I looked, he disappeared. I was making a slideshow for him, which I didn't upload to YouTube, and as I was making the slideshow, my cat Bubsy was standing in the hallway wanting me to pet him. And he'll stand in the hallway and meow and look at me until I'll go in there, into the room with him, and pet him. This room that Wubsy stays in is also the same room that Tigger stayed in, and they usually stay together. He likes going into that room and for me to pet him in there. So I got up and I went to go pet him, and the entire time I was in that room, right on the tote box where Tigger used to lay, out of the corner of my eye, I seen him setting up on the tote box looking at me. When I looked with like my full front vision, he disappeared. He was not there. I went into the living room after this and I sat down on the couch, and I think I went to get a snack. And Tigger, whenever he would hear like chips or cheese or something, he would come over to the nightstand and look at you, thinking that he was going to get a piece of your food. I believe I looked over, like kind of glanced over at our couch, and I seen him standing on our nightstand looking at me. And as soon as I looked at him, he disappeared. And then I don't know if this was like the same night that we had picked his ashes up, or like when it was. I can't really remember, but this has all happened in a span of like 3 weeks, I believe. I don't know if Booger and Tigger's spirits are kind of like residual. And if you don't know the difference, residual means that a spirit is repeating the same thing that they used to do when they were still living. Like they don't fully understand that they're dead, and so they're just doing the same thing that they used to do when they were living. And intelligent means that they know that they're dead and they can speak to you. I believe that's what it is. So I don't know if my cats are more residual or intelligent. I'd like to think that they're intelligent because they look at me like they know that I see them. But at the same time, I always see them doing stuff that they used to do when they were still living. So I'm kind of leaning more towards residual, but I think that they think that they're still alive here with us. Tigger used to sit on the floor beside my mom's sofa, and I would walk over there and get our computer out of the drawer. I would usually have to walk around him. Well, on this night, can't remember what night it was, I walked around the couch, I was going to get the computer, and I thought that I had seen Tigger sitting there on the floor looking at me. And of course, when I looked, he disappeared. And I believe that my mom said like a day or two after that that she had seen the same thing, or she thought that she'd seen it. So I thought that that was kind of interesting. I'm sorry if this is all over the place. Like, I believe that this was on like the same day that we got his ashes back, or it was like a day or 3 days afterwards or something like that. But Tigger used to sit beside my dad when he was on the computer on our couch, and he would just kind of like plop down beside of him and lay beside of him and rub his head up against like the computer screen and stuff. On this night, my dad was sitting on the computer. He said that he felt like that side of the couch like pushed down, like something had sat down beside of him or laid down beside of him on the couch, and there was nothing there. So he believed that that was maybe, you know, Tigger's spirit like sitting down beside of him. And he didn't see anything that time. I believe it was like a couple of nights ago, I was sitting on our couch and out of the corner of my eye, I thought that I had seen Booger sitting there next to the water dish like she used to do. And like every time I see her, like her eyes are like directly focused on me. And then I have two more things, and then I wanted to mention something else to you guys. So I believe it was this past Monday, I was getting ready to send my best friends messages, like good morning messages. So I go through and I find like different positive quotes, and I was looking through quotes on Google. As I'm doing this, like I keep seeing stuff to do with rainbows. I thought that that was kind of like a sign from Booger that she was still here. Like I wasn't even searching for stuff to do with rainbows, and I had searched up different things like positive quotes and happy quotes, and like I kept seeing stuff to do with rainbows. And then I believe it was last night, if you guys remember, I think it was in the last ghost cat video I did, I mentioned something about the pooper scooper. Behind him, he said that he thought he had heard like a swaying sound of something like swaying back and forth. And when he looked behind him, the pooper scooper was moving on its own back and forth. So I believe it was like last night or something. I went to go pee and I was sitting on the toilet. I had not touched that pooper scooper. And I looked over and that thing was like moving back and forth like this. And I know it sounds kind of funny. I mean it could have been anything. Like I could have accidentally bumped into it not realizing it, or like it could have been a sign, but I kind of took it as like, you know, one of them letting me know that they're there. I don't know, it sounds crazy and it's kind of funny, but yeah, that happened. It was the same thing that happened to my dad. That was all of the stuff that has happened since my two kitties have passed on, since the last time I made one of these ghost cat videos. And there has been like other stuff that's happened too, like I see them out of the corner of my eye all the time in my house, but sometimes it's just too much to like keep up with and write down because it happens pretty much on a daily basis. But yeah, I just thought that I would share because I really enjoy making these videos and sharing my experiences with you guys, and like I said, I really like looking back on it. Now, one weird thing that did happen was, you guys know how I did that Tomino's Hell video for Vlogtober, and I think that I made it back in August. And the whole point of that video, which if you haven't seen it, I'll leave it down below in the description to you. But basically, it's about this curse poem that if you read it out loud, it will either bring bad luck to you for the rest of your life, or it will completely kill you altogether. So me, being the smart one that I am, decided I was gonna read it out loud and see if it was real. And I believe that I made that video back in August or September, one of them. So it happened like a month or two, all this stuff started to happen. And one thing happened that I'm not gonna mention, but if you're my close friend, then you know what happened. I don't like to talk about it. I don't think that I'm allowed to talk about it, but something really bad happened. Like I was extremely upset about it. And this happened, I believe it was like on a day after Friday the 13th, which was in October. And I don't know if it had anything to do with Tomino's Hell or if it had anything to do with Friday the 13th, but I just found that a little bit odd. And then we found out that my cat, Tigger, had cancer and that we had to put him down. That was in October. And we found out that my cat, Duchess, had diabetes, so we had to start putting her on insulin shots and stuff like that. So all this bad stuff started to happen to me after I read that poem. I don't know if it was related to that or not. I'm not saying that it was, but I just found it kind of strange how it kind of happened close to that. I mean, it wasn't like directly after I read it, but I've heard things about Tomino's Hell where it's like if you read it, stuff could like end up not happening for like several months down the road. So it's very freaky, and I would not suggest reading that poem out loud if you don't want bad stuff to happen to you. I just thought it was a bunch of mumbo jumbo, honestly, and so I did it. I just thought that that was interesting and that I would mention that to you guys in this video. Like I said, I don't know if it was related to that or not. I'm sure that there will be more ghost cat videos in the future, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big old thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and become a morbid maniac, where Halloween is every single day pretty much for me and my channel. And leave me a comment and let me know what you think of all of this. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.